It's Dad's Dishing, Episode 2, The Nanny Diaries.
Can you believe it?
What can I not believe?
The gym finally opened up.
Yes, finally, it's fantastic.
As of the 24th.
How long do you think that will be?
I don't care. I'm happy to be going.
Yes.
You know, that's the deal because my whole fitness has been thrown off. I've put on 15 pounds.
It has been absolutely terrible. We all put on that COVID weight. I put on the COVID 30, COVID 45, like I said last episode. It is a struggle. And knowing the gyms are opening is really something that I think will help so many of us because so much of being successful in life is having your routine in place.
Right.
You talk about this all the time, and it's so true.
And it's hard because, you know, I'd always find motivation just getting to the gym.
Yeah.
And then I'd be in there and I'm like, all right, that dude's lifting pretty hard.
I'm going to lift harder than him.
Like, you know, there's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I wake up, you know,
yeah,
it's just me, the Peloton bike, and some dumbbells. You know, that's just it. So I'm like,
it's hard to get motivated with that. It really is. Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm just at home. So thankfully, you know, we should hopefully still have that in our arsenal to be better.
Yes.
But a lot of people talking about the election too.
Yes.
Crazy.
Well, last week we had the DNC National Conference,
right.
A new format. It was all online, right? It was all so really a different thing, but it brings to the forefront something else that's coming up this fall, the election. And that becomes now the story.
Right. I know, that's crazy. I can't believe it.
Yes.
The election.
Yeah. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the election without getting too political? Because people don't like politics anymore. I think we all hate it.
Well, apparently the mail is a big problem.
Yes.
Which I don't ever think it was a problem before, but now
I know.
It's a problem.
It's crazy. I can't believe what a problem the mail has become. Here's the thing. Do you get all your bills? Do you get everything online? Do you get paperless? How do you get everything that you have?
I try to do everything online. By the way, I was going to do my Joe Biden.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yes.
I don't need no...
I don't know that that's Joe
graduation.
Biden. Yes. I don't know that that's Joe Biden.
I think I saw him do that.
Okay. Okay. Yes. That being said, it has become a big thing. I don't even know where to go with that. So now we know where you feel. Yes.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Believe me, I'm the last person to know until I'm there at the ballot box.
Exactly.
Assuming
yes.
I can get in there.
Well, I think it will be very telling what comes over the next few months. I think things will be shifting and changing. It will be interesting to see if COVID blows back up. If that does, how that affects the election. I don't know if it will. I don't know that it can, but we will see.
And we're back to COVID.
Aren't we always? Unfortunately, it's the most boring topic, but it is the only topic of discussion because it's affecting so many of our lives in so many ways.
Scotie, our producer Kelly put up some things on social with regards to that. And we had so much engagement.
Huge.
Parents are freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over all of this, over COVID, over whether they should be keeping their kids at home.
If they are going to be stuck with their children, that's been the huge thing. Yes.
Our favorite guest, Dolly, was even talking to me about that actually earlier. She was basically saying that, you know, Dolly, for those of you who know, or is my ex-wife.
Yes. One of our favorite guests. Yeah, always.
One of our favorite guests so far. But with regards to the whole COVID thing, you know, I think, I don't want to speak too much, but she's possibly keeping her own son home.
Okay.
You know, until the new year. That's a big deal.
This has become a big thing. I think a lot of schools, a lot of parents are doing that. If you can, if there's one parent that's home or the child is old enough, her son is how old? 10, 12? Like
11.
11.
He's 11.
So probably starting to be at an age where you could leave for a couple hours type thing. I mean, is that an age you can leave your kids? What age can you leave your children?
3?
Yeah, I think 2. I think they start taking care of themselves at toddler. Like if you're potty trained, go ahead. We'll be back. Mommy and Daddy are going to dinner.
I thought I did it.
Yes,
I pretty much raised myself.
And they're amazing kids. They really are.
No, they really are. But no, it's I read something that was a little crazy. Actually, I read that kids. They didn't specify the age, but they did say that kids actually carry more COVID virus within their airways than people that are in ICUs and adults that are in ICUs. So they make it almost a perfect vehicle for the virus to get transmitted to others. So it is something to be really considerate about when you're dealing with kids and they're going to be going back to school.
Yeah.
And there's that whole thing.
When we talk about children, when we talk about the people we love so much, the kids, that becomes the topic that is so difficult because we want to do right by them. And there is no precedent for this. We closed down schools at the start of COVID. So as we head into the fall, we do not know where this is going to go. So what's the chance? Do you risk lives to see, is it going to kill kids? You can't do that. I mean, really, we can't do that. And because we don't see how it's affecting children yet, it's going to be a true test. It's going to be a difficult test. As of the time this show is being taped, Governor Cuomo is talking like it's a good possibility that schools won't open come fall. That's the latest headline from Governor Cuomo. Right. And of course, anger from everyone over when are we going to make a decision?
Right.
We're a week out. We're 2 weeks out from school starting. How do you feel about this? Are you angry as a parent?
Well, I'm not angry.
Yes.
I have had to overcome quite a bit because of the COVID thing going on.
Yeah.
More so than most. I lost a parent.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to actually have a proper funeral for my mom.
Yeah.
She was cremated. She's in an urn, what I mean? And I can't be close to her. I can't,
get that closure.
Yeah, I can't get that freaking closure. So you have to figure out that, there's greater things that are happening and all in due time. This is an awful situation for millions of people, billions of people. It's a freaking global pandemic. But that's just my little issue. And I'm just trying to stay calm. Sophie goes back to college.
Yes.
Here soon. So I just want her to be safe. That's all I care about. And for her to be healthy and for all of us to, have some sort of semblance of being safe and healthy overall. I don't know what else is going to happen.
Unfortunately, I think the key here is patience and wait and watch.
Yeah.
And as we wait and watch, Dad's Dishing will be waiting and watching as well.
I know.
So before we get into today's topic, I want to talk about last week. You guys, the team here, so fantastic. We got together and celebrated the birth of me. And it was absolutely amazing. I want to talk about my amazing gift from you and Kelly. A fantastic pair of Gucci loafers. So amazing. It was a fun night, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
They look fabulous. You know what? I think people don't understand the importance of good shoes on men, and a great pair of Gucci loafers are the classic shoe. You should have it, shouldn't you?
Spend money on the accessories. The clothes, no one really knows that much.
And you don't get as much wear out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the shoes, the watches, the belts.
Yes.
You wear that shit all the time.
And for the single fathers out there, we always are trying to give you those tips to be the best you can be. And if you're back out there on the dating scene, women look at shoes.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. You wouldn't think so, but women look at shoes like crazy. So get yourself a good pair.
And on their way down, as
yes.
the head's going down, they're also checking out your package.
Yes. So make sure that is emphasized any way you can. The tighter the pants, the better. I always say, I like to be able to see somebody's religion.
Wow. You're looking with a lot of intention.
I'm
there.
looking with intention, yes.
I'm just putting a tube sock in there.
Exactly. I thought your religion was kind of weird.
It's Adidas, motherfucker.
It's an Adidas. Yes,
that's
Adidas,
my religion.
Yes. Mine is Nike. Swoop.
There you go.
It's a half cut. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So
anyway,
today, as we go on talking about perversion, one of the things we talk about today, nannies. I want to talk about this, and we're not going to talk to our nanny because she is so fabulous. She's a professional nanny. That's who we're going to talk to today. We're not going to ask her this question, but I have to ask you this question first. Have you ever had sex with the nanny?
I can't answer that.
You can't answer that. Oh my gosh. This is a Dad's Dishing exclusive. All right. Should I not beat this?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, it probably doesn't make sense for me to answer that.
Okay. So that being said, I think this is something that, honestly, as a parent, if you are married, if you're together, do you do the interview process together? Does the wife want to find the ugliest girl she can find, the prettiest girl she can find, a guy, an old woman?
Mary Poppins is.
Mary Poppins is. I think Mary Poppins is kind of a sexy girl.
All the things she could do with the umbrellas.
Yes, she very magical. She had that magic bag too, full of tricks.
Right. Oh my gosh.
All right. So today on Dad's Dishing, we are talking about it's our title for today's show is The Nanny Diaries. And the reason this is so topical and so proper and appropriate.
Whether to have sex with them or not.
Whether or not to have sex with them. We're going to come back to that too. Yeah. Because I still feel like I need to, Barbara Walters, pressure you with some questions. Joe, did you have sex with the nanny?
Wobble, wobble?
Yes, wobble, wobble. All right. So that being said, the reason this is so topical is because so many of us don't want to put our kids into daycare programs, don't want to put our kids out there to send them off to school. So we need to start talking about hiring nannies and how you go about that process. So today we are talking about to a professional nanny.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Her name is Tess Zambrano.
Yes.
And a professional nanny. I've never actually, there's generally just babysitters and that sort of stuff, not necessarily a nanny, but.
Well, and you know what? I think what the difficult thing is, what it becomes is most of us don't know how to hire for staff. Mm-hmm. When you are hiring a nanny, you're hiring somebody who's going to work for you and work with your family.
Well, there's that website. What's it called? Like,
yes. Oh,
it's like an Angie's List. If anyone remembers Angie's List anymore.
Exactly. Kelly, do you know what that site is? It's nannysomething.com, I think. Yeah. But
yeah, there is a site that you can call in and get professional references and experiences so that your nanny is professionally cleared.
Okay.
To make sure that there's no fraud and.
Sebby's checking it out. It's Nanny. What is it? Nanny Pro.
This one's called Nanny Lane. So what producer Kelly was saying too is that there is a site where you can find nannies. They theoretically have been professionally screened.
Sure. And they put up reviews and stuff like that. They won't sleep with your husband or whatever.
Well, that's no guarantee. And that is no guarantee, okay? So that being said, it is something that I think is a difficult process. So when we talk to Tess today, we're going to be able to ask her those questions that are so important to ask about what she was asked, what she would look for in a family that's interviewing her to be with their children all day, every day.
Right. And before we cut to her, though, we got to talk about our main sponsor here at Cafe Kubal.
Yes.
Just love Cafe Kubal. Yeah. Love the coffee. Love this fantastic studio, this co-works that they have here, and their brand new location here on North Townsend also right here. It's awesome. So they're getting all the St. Joe's people are coming right over here too.
How awesome
for
is this?
The best coffee in Central New York. Hands down.
I love any opportunity you get for a business to create a community that is more of a walking community.
Sure.
When you can walk from your place of work to go grab a cup of coffee versus get in the car and drive, you start a sense of community. And that's what Cafe Kubal is all about. It is that sense of community. And we are so happy to be here shooting Dad's Dishing in the Cafe Kubal workspace. This is so awesome.
Yep. Thank you, Matt. We love you. We
absolutely.
Love you. And also Northeastern Dental. I got my appointment.
Yes.
Again, their theme. They're open for business. They're ready to, don't put off your cleanings. They're taking all the COVID precautions that are needed. So that's huge, so you can feel safe. They're doing the right practices. They have multiple locations. You can just check it out online. Northeastern Dental is where I'm going.
Yes. And what is awesome about this is it's an opportunity to keep your dental health in check. And that is so important. Dental health is the key to all health, really.
You know what? I got some gross shit to tell you.
Okay. Break it down.
I started brushing my teeth the other day.
Yes.
And this hasn't happened forever. My gums started
brushing
to
the teeth?
No. I brush my teeth every day.
I was going to say.
At least 2 to 3 times. But I was brushing my teeth and my gums started to bleed. And I was like, holy shit.
Yes.
I need to get in. So and I floss, but for whatever reason, they were bleeding. I was like,
I hope it's not the gum disease known as gingivitis.
Gingivitis? I don't know. Well, maybe. See how much we disclose here? How come I'm always doing the fucking disclosing on the show?
Well, you know what? I'm very happy to have you disclose. Speaking of disclosures, so when it comes to today's topic and talking to our guests, the question becomes, do you want to live with a nanny or do you want your nanny to come every day? And that is a great question.
I think come every day.
Yeah, come every day. Living with somebody is a lot. It really is.
Because you get to see the person. I think that you sort of like, I don't know. I've never had, well, I take that back. When I was a kid in Colombia, my family, they had, so whenever I go see my aunts and uncles and stuff, they had live-in help.
Yes.
And there's kind of like a weird dynamic because they're always on. And I feel very uncomfortable by that. They'd always be there to help you or assist you, but they weren't really part of the family, although they felt that way. But there was always that line, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that.
I would imagine if you grow up with it, if you're brought up in that lifestyle, it makes life easier.
You have a bunch of manservants, don't you?
We have tons of manservants. No, don't I wish? Pool people. Yes, that would be fantastic. But that being said, I think that having somebody live with you can be a good thing in the sense that, okay, Friday night comes along, you want to go to dinner, your nanny's still available Friday night. And the kids, it does help keep things consistent.
Right.
And consistency is the best when it comes to parenting.
So you're for that?
I'm for live-in help. Yeah, I don't think it's a problem. I think that's, if you can find it, if you can afford it, that's the key too. It can be very expensive.
I guess I just like that separation of like my family.
Yes.
And everyone else, I just feel like they're a guest in my place.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Get that, yes.
Like it's just like, this is where I'm at. This is my comfortable space. And Conchita is still here.
Yes, Conchita. So I think it's fun because you know what? I can say, here, take little Joe away. Bring him for his bath. I'm going to drink. It's bath time. I'm not going to be there for it.
All right. So I think we're ready for our guest.
Well, Tess, thanks so much for joining us. You are on with Scotie and Joe. Today's episode is called The Nanny Diaries, and you are a professional nanny.
Yay.
I am.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. I understand that you were actually just at the beach with the kids, and you managed to put them down for nap.
Were.
Yes, very nice.
So thank you. Wow, you're like we had to like really work hard to get her on here. Wow, what a fantastic team, and thank you so much for your time. Wow.
Oh, of course, you're welcome.
So-
Happy to be here.
How long have you been a professional nanny for?
Since like my 20s, and I just turned 40 this year.
Oh my gosh.
A long time.
Well, you look fantastic, first of all. And second, what would you say your greatest takeaway has been from being a nanny? What's the number one thing that you think is so fulfilling about this job?
I just love watching the kids grow and learn new things like every day. Like it's so fun to just watch them like discover like new things. Like even in the car ride today, like the things they're pointing out in their imaginations are just so wonderful.
Yes, that learning process. They are sponges at this age. They take it all in.
Right. So with the whole COVID thing going on, the pandemic, kids they may not be going back to school. I guess what's been your take? Like, what have you had to change in your daily schedule?
In like, the lockdown, we just, we did our best to like keep it as normal as possible for them. So like we did a lot of school stuff. We, kept to our daily routine. We kept everything positive. Like we told them about the virus and everything, but we were never negative about it. And the parents and I were always on the same page. That's super important.
Huge.
So we just, got through it the best that we could. And my two oldest girls that I have right now, they are fortunate enough that they're in a district where they're going to go back full time.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes for them. I'm moving on to a new family in a couple weeks.
Oh, wow.
With littler kids because it just made the most sense. So because it'll be long term for me. So my time with these guys is coming to an end.
Oh, that's emotional.
See,
it's good. It's great.
We were
It's
just
good for everybody.
we were just talking about that. It's like, when do you say goodbye? Like, when do you say goodbye to a family? Is it when the kids grow up, or because you in turn become part of the family?
Yeah, I mean, I plan to like stay in touch with them. I have other past nanny families that I'm still in touch with now. The kids are one of them's a teenager, one of them just turned 10. So I see them all the time. They, we're all local to each other. So a lot of them, one of my very first nanny kids just had her first baby.
Oh,
so
my
that
gosh.
was exciting to see that happen. So it's really crazy, like watching them grow up now too.
Yeah. So you can see that the nanny can really become a part of the family. You become part of their whole growing process. What do you think it takes to identify a good nanny to bring into your family? What are the questions that parents should ask as they are interviewing for somebody who's going to be playing such an important role in their children's lives?
if they have one that's already established, like they should be willing to adapt that to whatever the family wants to. They should ask about, definitely like hours and money. You have to keep in mind that like a nanny is different than a babysitter. You should really want like a nanny to come in and be a part of your family. A babysitter is just somebody that comes once in a while. A nanny is somebody that you're going to see every single day.
That's a good
sometimes
distinction.
on the weekends too. Like I don't usually work weekends, but some nannies do.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to be in your house. So just do a background check, like ask about their family, because that's really important. Like, what are their family values? Like, do they match up with yours?
That's a great thing. Love that. Yes.
And wow. So with all that being said, like, it's how do you keep yourself separate between your role as a nanny and then being the family? I mean, is there any degree of separation that exists there?
Yeah, like you definitely want to keep it like professional. I mean, obviously I get close with them as the years go on. But at first, like set boundaries, like know what your boundaries are as a nanny. Like if you don't want them contacting you at 7:00 at night when your day is done, like make that clear to them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them texting you at, 5:00 in the morning, make that really clear to them. Like if they need you to stay late, like that's okay. But like they need to like always like have boundaries and like establish them, and don't be afraid to say like, no, I can't do that. I can't stay late today. Like it's too short notice. Like I already have plans. My nanny family is like always respect my timeline like that, because they, establish that like I have a life outside of them. I have dogs. I have my mom, at my house. So I have friends. Like, not that I'm really seeing anybody right now.
Right.
But, like, I do also have a life, so you have to respect nanny's like position beyond like being in your home.
Sure.
Yeah.
How does someone find you? Like, I'm sure there's a lot.
Yes. Great
right?
question.
Like,
yes.
There's going to be a lot of parents in need of
yes.
extra help.
Yes. I've had so many people reach out to me on Care, on Facebook, friends of friends. My current families that I'm with right now, I worked at a daycare briefly, like in between nanny families. That's just what happened to work out. It was my friend's daycare. So I worked there, and then when it closed, we decided to do a nanny share with 3 of the family. So that's how, like, I ended up with these guys for the past 2 years. But yeah, word of mouth is a really great way to find a nanny or babysitter. Because people have, kids age out. Like before, when kids were going to school full time, people maybe only needed a nanny when their kids were toddlers up until they were all going to school. Now it's a little bit different. Like I have people wanting like, 2 days here, 3 days there, because that's their kids' school schedule now.
Yes.
So they want somebody in their home that they can trust, that they know is social distancing, that is being really careful, because they are working with kids.
Wow. It's so great because this is
my new family I found on care.com though, and they reached out to me, and
awesome. Care.com. That's the site.
We were like looking for nanny diary websites. I don't know what it was.
So here's a good question for you. When you are out there and there's a family that's starting, do you look for that family with an infant so you can grow with the family? Or do you take the family that needs you right now? How do you identify? Do you have a favorite age group that you work with? Do you have a specialty, I should say?
Yes, I love like babies to 5 years old. Like that's my niche. Like I love toddlers. I love babies.
That's the toughest age,
though. They're cool too.
Yes.
I'm sorry for interrupting,
I love babies and toddlers.
Wow. But that's the toughest age, isn't it? I mean, or do you have it down to a science where you can deal with it?
It is. I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at it at this point. So I just love that age. And my new family, they have a 22-month-old and a baby on the way. So I'm super excited about that. So it's definitely going to be long term. If I didn't happen to be with them, then I would have considered like doing a nanny share with like, you know, kids that were going on Monday and Tuesday and kids that were going on Thursday and Friday, you know, maybe like 2 different families. If, that's how it worked out. But I really did want like just something full-time, long-term. So that's what I was looking for this full time. And I've had to turn out so many people, and it breaks my heart to say no. I'm really hard at saying no, but, you know, I see like there's tons of need for care right now.
Absolutely. So one of the things that you do you cook for the kids? Do you do meal planning for the kids? I know allergies have become a big topic. What's that?
Yeah. So, we have like our own little like kitchen area here. So I make the kids lunches every day. And like I grocery shop for them like once a week. And, you know, I make whatever they like, and I kind of know what they like better than like their parents, and they're like, they don't eat that for us. I'm like, they like that.
Yeah.
They do. Don't let
You're
them
like,
tell
they
you
love
like
that.
because they do like that.
So Tess, do you ever find yourself needing to discipline a child? And then have you ever been at odds with a parent when that happens? And then do you discipline the parent?
No, not really. Like so far, the parents that I've worked for have been really great, and they always support me in like my discipline and stuff. And if they have a different idea, then, you know, we always talk about it. But when kids are old enough to understand the timeout, like I use timeouts and I use warnings. I don't yell. I'm not a yeller at all. So I find that when you don't yell, kids tend to listen to you a lot better. After a while, if you're a yeller, like it just becomes noise to them and they can tune it out.
Okay.
But if you're quiet and you like have a conversation with them about it, like, you know, as they get older, like the 5-year-olds that I have now, like I can say like, okay, well, like, why did you think that was okay? And, you know, they may just say like, I don't know. But, you know, other times they'll be like, well, I just wanted this. And I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't a nice thing to do. That wasn't kind, you know, use kind words, you know,
what about on an infant level when you're dealing with a crying baby? You know, that's got to be the toughest. They say this thing that a crying baby is the most alarming thing that a human can hear. And then the second is a ringing telephone that isn't answered.
Yeah. A crying baby, they just want love and attention. So, you know, like I always feel like you can't like hold the baby enough or like love them enough. Like they're only babies for a little while. So like just love them and give them the attention that they're seeking.
That is so great.
You're amazing.
You know what? Here's the thing, and this is why it's so important to screen the person coming into your home. Know that they're patient, because in the past you've read news stories where a baby was being taken care of by somebody who was working for the family, be it a babysitter or a nanny, and children have been killed that way. I mean, you need to know that you can't shake a baby to get it to be quiet. So when you can find somebody and you can screen properly, it's so important to hold on to that person, make that work environment so good and positive, which is really awesome.
Absolutely. Tess, I can tell from your demeanor and your face, you have a lot of love for people. Like, I can just tell this. Did you grow up with a big family that made this sort of like, kind of like second nature to you?
Well, I have a lot of cousins. I'm personally an only child. Well, I mean, I have an older half sister, but she always lived in California.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom has 5 brothers and sisters. And so I, you know, just have like a million cousins around, and we're all like sisters mostly. And now they have kids and they all call me Aunt Tess. So.
Oh, fun. It really is a fun thing.
Really together.
Well, we can tell that you love children, that you are passionate about them. This has been a great tool for us and for our single fathers out there watching, because right now during COVID, we have to relook at the way we're having our children watch during the day. School is not necessarily available, and having your child go to daycare may not be available. So to be able to hire a nanny in your home, have that person be available, is really a great tool. And thank you for walking us through the way that we can interview those
Sure.
people.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. And also, Tess,
absolutely.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
One of our dad dishing fans out there, it seems like the crying is difficult. So, I mean, have you found a secret to getting a baby to stop crying faster, aside from alcohol?
No. I mean, really just like rock them, bounce them. Some babies like to be rocked, some like to be bounced, some like to go in like that vibrating chair thing. It's always different. And you know what? If you are feeling overwhelmed by like a crying baby, it's okay to set them down and walk away for a minute. It's okay for them to cry for a second if you're feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Right.
Huge. That's awesome.
Well, there you have it. A real expert.
The Nanny Diary. Literally, we had the professional nanny. Thank you so much, Tess, for helping us during this time, talking to us. And now you can get back to the kids that you're taking care of right now. That's so awesome.
You can remove the masking tape off their face.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. She didn't do that.
No.
She's wonderful.
Tess, thanks so much.
Hi, Tess. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
I want to hang out with her.
I know. She's fantastic.
She's this nice without alcohol.
It's so true. Without alcohol, it's so true. Oh, she does? Okay, fantastic. Well, and that is a great thing. Kelly just said she loves Exo Taco. Oh. And just so you guys know, tonight you can come see the team from Dad's Dishing at Exo Taco.
Really?
Yes,
are you going to be giving any signed autographs?
Well, we will not be giving signed autographs.
Signed pictures?
I bring my own in case you want it.
It's $20 each?
Yes, exactly. But all of that goes to a great source, Scotie D. No, but we will be here at Exo Taco. Each week we are trying to make this part of the Dad's Dishing community. So join us at Exo Taco tonight, 6:00. We will be there and they will have the Dad's Dishing salad and margaritas as well.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
But you know, we always have this dilemma, I guess, where we want to offer solutions to people, especially as they're going through all of this COVID thing. So, you know, thinking about a nanny in order to help you with parenting, especially during this time, I think that no one's talked about that. If you think about it, they say, oh, now I have to be the teacher and I have to do this and I have to do that. And it's difficult for my kid to teach him math or, you know, whatever it is that they're learning now.
Yeah. Math,
but a nanny could
socials.
really help, I think. You know, maybe not from the tutor perspective, but at least to help you get all the other things in your life organized in the household so that you could have some degree of normalcy and be able to focus on the education.
Absolutely. And obviously, it's always great if you can have a parent come and help. One of them, when Kelly, our producer, put this story up on Facebook to talk about some of the struggles parents are seeing, one of our listeners, Vesna, said in her community, she's noticing a lot more grandparents in the community. They're helping out. But if you don't have that opportunity, if your parents don't live close by, if your parents can't take on that risk, if they're at higher risk for catching COVID, this is something that we all need to have. Mm-hmm. Those tools, those interview questions that if we need to find childcare for our child, we can go out there and do it the right way so our children are never in harm's way.
Yep. Takes a village, right? Takes a village to raise an idiot.
Yes, it does, Hillary. It is true. So that is Dad's Dishing this week. This topic is so topical. If you have any thoughts on it, please share your thoughts on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. Twitter and YouTube. Put it right under the YouTube.
Subscribe to our podcast channel. It'll really help us out. We're growing this thing like crazy. We have people reaching out, wanting to be a part of our show. And
the great thing about this is people are pulling away information from other people and they're talking to each other under the Facebook post, under the Instagram post, so that this can be your place to go and get the information you need. Because right now there is no expert on how to handle COVID. There is no expert on how we're going to go forward with our children and with school and with daycare and all of that. So your friends, the people in this community can be your source for information, which is awesome.
Well said, Scott.
Thank you so much.
And with that, I think that's our show.
Yeah, we'll see you tonight at Exo Taco. Please join us, and we'll see you next week right back here. Radio and TV, YouTube, podcast,
oh my God,
the works. We're the works. We love
everybody.
it.
Thank you.